Hello guys, welcome back. Artist Chamari here. Today I'm doing a new type of video where I'm going to be showing a time-lapse process of one of my newer pieces, Owl Alebrije, and just kind of talking about the process, what inspired me, why I did it, different aspects of the piece and their meanings and things like that. Things that I don't always get to explain when I just post a piece. I want to kind of get more in depth. My paintings always have deeper meanings, and so I decided to just really share some of those with people so they can understand all the concepts that are involved. So this piece was inspired based on a juried exhibition that was coming up that I wanted to participate in. I always like to do any of those things that are local, and it was a local one, so I was really excited to do something new, create a new piece for it. It was based on Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead ceremonies through Mexican culture. So when I sat down and started to come up with my concept for what I wanted to do, I thought about all the beautiful, rich cultural things that they do for this beautiful celebration, ceremony, and holiday. And I also thought about all the other artwork that I've seen and different things that have inspired me, things that I'm drawn to, things that I really like about this specific holiday. So I don't know everything about it. I have a lot of Mexican friends and I learn as much as I can, but it's something that I haven't experienced in person to go like to Mexico and celebrate this. So what I know is just through things that I've experienced myself or learned from friends or seen through different things or whatever. But I come across this idea of alebrijes, which are like spirit animals. And I've always really been drawn to things that have any kind of spirit aspect. You know, and paintings are always kind of based in the non-physical and have those spiritual aspects to them. So I wanted it definitely to incorporate something like that. So I started looking into alebrijes. What are they? Where did they come from? And through my research, I learned that they come from the Oaxaca region of Mexico, and they were started by an artist. Of course, that's why I was drawn to them, who they say through some kind of fever or something had these visions of these amazing animals that were in another realm. And he considered them some form of spirit animal, and he started to recreate them, the ones that he had seen through paper mache sculpture. And they're vibrant in color, they're beautiful, they're still created to this day, especially in that Oaxaca region of Mexico. And they do them wood carved, they do all different kinds of things, and it's become a local art in that area. But these creatures are spectacular, straight out of your imagination. Things from fairy tales and stories of children. They're just amazing. And I love to keep those types of ideas alive and just try to keep that creative aspect and the fun of being an artist always in my pieces. And so it was really easy for me to decide to go ahead and do the alebrije, the spirit animal. My process of deciding what animal to do was kind of I take these things seriously. I always do research. I look into things. I read books. I watched animal movies. I wrote down different ideas. You know, I really was trying to come up with something that resonated with my soul and my spirit as the creator of this piece. So through a process of elimination, I decided to kind of maybe go with a harpy eagle and was playing around with that idea. From the harpy eagle, I came across the image of the Central American barn owl, which is absolutely spectacular if you haven't seen it. I saw it up close and in person when I was in Belize, and I was just blown away by the they have a spirit-like look to them. They have a very kind of ghostly looking face. Their face is very they have human looking eyes, and they're just beautiful. They're absolutely captivatingly beautiful, but they really, to me, gave the feeling of a spirit animal already. So I decided to go ahead and go with the barn owl kind of idea and give this owl alebrije that barn-like face, that kind of humanistic face, to represent that spiritness like we talked about. I wanted it to also reflect parts of my Native American culture because I'm always putting little aspects of that in all my pieces. And the owl in my culture, where I grew up, the tribes that I grew up with in Washington State, the owl represented death. And not in a scary way. Death's a natural part of our cycle here. But if we saw an owl, if one passed over us, if one came about, it always meant the death was coming. And it could be the death of many, many things, from a family member to a pet to a friend. But it was that representation of a warning sign that death was coming. And we always looked out for that. So I thought that it just really kind of went along already with the theme of Day of the Dead and just that understanding of this next part of our a transitional part of our journey here in this realm. So I'm just like kind of getting the shapes together, starting to add those colors, starting to really add, textures. I like a lot of texture. I like things to be kind of have movement within them. So you'll just see me laying down a lot of color to get that velvety, rich color. I wanted it to be kind of like it was illuminating from the inside. Being a spirit animal, really wanted that illumination to be a part of it. So you'll see me just kind of going over the colors, getting that richness, getting that velvety soft look and feel going on, and then adding highlights and contrast to really make it pop. I'm going to just kind of let you guys watch some of this process as I go through, and then once we get towards the end, I'll talk about some other aspects of it. But you will just see I'm just layering up the colors, adding different variances, lights and darks, just to get a more realistic effect. And that's the fun thing about acrylic paints is they're so fluid. You can do so many different things, from making them look like watercolors to making them look like oil paintings. And in this one, I wanted that vibrant richness of a traditional oil painting. So let's watch the process and see how it comes along. We can now see those colors just really popping off the canvas now. They're so rich and velvety and just really creating a striking image to look at. Here I'm adding detail for what I wanted to incorporate on the feathers, which was an intergalactic aspect. I always like to kind of put some kind of universal something or intergalactic something within my pieces. And in this case, because it was a spirit animal, I decided to do galaxies within its wings based on an idea that this animal has powers beyond our understanding of what we would experience here in the physical world. It can transport us to other galaxies, other universes, other realms, and it's always there to wait for us when we're going through our transition from one reality to the next, because it's our spirit animal. So those galaxies in the eye of those feathers was something that was very important to me, came out beautifully, and I wanted to explain that aspect because I know it's something that's just kind of new for people to comprehend or understand, just incorporating those intergalactic pieces into all paintings, because I really truly believe that we're connected universally and intergalactically to everything around us. There's so much more going on than we understand, from the macro to the micro type of comprehensions, right? So moving along here, I'm just finishing up all the little details, really making those marigolds pop and stand out, look textured and layered and as realistic as possible. I'm just finishing up all the little kind of pieces, adding the wax, melting down those candles. The candles are another aspect of just that sacredness. And here we can see the galaxy up close and in person, and those galaxies going down the feathers. And we go right into an up close of the end of that tunnel, where our ancestors and our family members are there waiting to greet us. Those monarch butterflies are racing out in celebration of our return to the next realm. And our trusty, reliable, ever sacred spirit animal is right there to guide us and illuminate our path and carry us to the next adventure and the next journey. So that was kind of the basis, the ideas, behind this piece. I'm sure there's more that I probably forgot or missed, but just kind of the basic understanding of the overall concept behind this piece here.